Roger, Echo 3, Papa, Charlie, Papa.
Papa, Charlie, Papa, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, very good afternoon, Jim. Not doing too bad. Pretty tough conditions today by the sound of it, but I thought I would jump in there and give you a shout. V3PCP.
Roger, are you getting much lightning up your way?
Not right now, no, but I can hear the static on the air.
Roger, Rob. It's just terrible down here. I'm getting 30s and 40 overs, Roger. 40 overs, Roger.
Yeah, Qso. Well, it looks like I'm getting into Milford okay. I'm watching it on my cell phone here. So it looks like I'm getting into about plus 10 at Milford, so you can probably copy me through there, Qso.
Yeah, I just moved to Milford. You're blowing my head off, Roger.
Yeah, I just moved to Milford. You're blowing my head off, Roger.
Okay, very good. Anyway, well, since we last talked, I do have a new, to me, radio in the shack. It's a Kenwood TS-870. I think I had it, I tried to talk to you without an amplifier a week or two ago, but we had no luck. But anyway, I've got the amplifier on the air today, so hoping that it sounds okay from your end there. KC9VKV, VE3PCP.
Roger, like I say, you look to be about 20 over on the Milford PA SDR. Come back and tell me about that radio, and I'll move to my local antenna, see what kind of copy I got on my local antenna, Roger.
And I'll move to my local antenna, see what kind of copy I got on my local antenna, Roger.
Roger, Roger. I'm currently running with the 2 or something like that. I have the bass set at +6 and the treble set at +3. It seems to get pretty good reports on that setup. So I wonder if what you're hearing on that end. KC9VKV, V3PCP.
Roger, Rob. I went around the horn there, and you're down to Georgia. A lot of noise because of the lightning storm, and between New York and PA, you're the same audio level, except that you're cleaner on PA because there's less lightning there than there is up around New York, I guess. On the tonality of the audio, it's kind of very similar to telephone, upper mids mostly, very little bass, but you do have cut. Roger, Roger?
Bass, but you do have cut. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, Qso. Okay, very good. Well, I turned the treble or the high frequencies down to.
Roger, Rob. I think you might have turned something off there. You fell away. Lost my copy on you. Oh, my fault. Hang on just a minute here. My SDR changed frequency. Can you imagine? I don't know why that does that. It just arbitrarily, on its own, changed frequency. Can you imagine that?
Changed frequency. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, Rob, I got you now. My SDR just changed frequency by itself. I don't know why it did, but it did. And I lost you, but I got you back, buddy.
Okay, very good. Well, I'll turn I've only got 2 adjustments. I got low and high. The mid-range is set, so right now I've got the high at +3, so I'll turn it down to 0. So now the high is down to 0. It's at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio. What do you think? KC9VKV, V3PCP.
Yeah, so that sounds good. Now, I would actually come up on some of the bottom. I think you've got room to come up a couple of clicks on your bottom end, Roger.
On your bottom end, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. The bottom end is already maxed out at +6.
Roger, might need to change your blocking capacitors or whatever that is, Roger. Fatten them up just a little bit more. Usually we're going the other way, but that would, sounds better with just a little more bottom end. I guess you could drop off some of the top, but I hate to do that. I think you're just about right on the top, Roger.
I think you're just about right on the top, Roger.
Roger. Well, the top is at 0 now instead of I can turn it up to higher. Now it's different when I turn the processor off. So the processor tends to sharpen things a little bit, I think. So if I turn the processor off, it's going to change. So okay, there is with the processor off. Audio, and there is with the processor turned back on. ROB-VE3PCP.
Yes, sir. It's much fuller with the processor on and a lot cleaner. I think not cleaner, but just fuller. So I would leave, and it doesn't overwhelm you like some processors. So I think that processor sounds good on, Roger.
Yes, sir. Sounds good on, Roger.
Equalizer on the computer, and I bumped up the low end on it a bit, so I don't know whether that made a difference or not, but anyway, I think for what it is, I think we're good to go, and of course there is no blocking capacitors I can play with because I'm using a computer headset and running the rig through the computer QSO.
Roger that. Well, it's probably like about 300 cycles where the push point would need to be, about 300 probably. I wouldn't go much below that, just try to take it down to maybe 250, 300 cycles, something like that. If you could find, a way to do that, but don't get me wrong, it sounds really good, the way it is for what it is. I mean, you're bouncing around out there in the car and all that stuff, Roger.
Out there in the car and all that stuff, Roger.
No negative. I'm at home in the shack, Jim.
Right, Roger. But eventually, that is a remote setup, Roger, isn't it?
Setup, Roger, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that a remote setup?
Yeah, I missed most of that. You're dropping out there quite a bit. I think we'll call it for today, Jim. I appreciate the time, and I'll look forward to listening to the recording. So 7-3, and have a good afternoon. KC9VKV, V3PCP.
Roger, Rob, that is your remote setup, isn't it?
Setup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my. I'm sitting in the shack, but I use the remote software to operate the radio. QSO.
Roger. So you have less than perfect conditions a lot of times when you're running through that unit. So taking all that into consideration, I think you're really close to where you need to be now. Because you are many times in less than ideal conditions, Roger.
Many times in less than ideal conditions, Roger.
Yeah, QSO. No, I think it's pretty good, and we'll leave it where it is today, and we'll look forward to listening to the recording. QSO.
Yes, sir, Rob. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. It's KC9VKV followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search. And it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2600 Qso-Vlog air check recordings, Roger.
100 Qso-Vlog air check recordings, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, Jim, very good. Thanks very much, 7-3, and have a good weekend. We'll talk to you again soon. KC9VKV, V3PCP.
Roger, Rob, 73, sir. Have a good afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.